Assalamualaikum and good evening to all of you. Welcome to our interview session with engineers. This interview session asking 10 questions related to the fundamental principle of professional ethic and various conduct. First of all, let me introduce two persons as our guests. First, Mr. Muhammad FIZRIE HILMI bin Muhammad YUSOF as AGM in Engineering Service in KABAZ Sdn Berhad. Second, Mr. Muhammad ISMAIL bin IBRAHIM in as Project Management in KABAZ Sdn Berhad. And for our group members, firstly, Chu Junkai. Second, Si Wei Chi. Third, MUHUNTHAA anak lelaki MUNIYANDI. And lastly, me, Muhammad Hadzim Ashraff bin MAZLAN. Okay, so let's not wasting our time. We shall start with first question, Chu Junkai.
Alright, good evening everyone. Mr. FIZRIE, I have a question for you. Can you share a time you put in extra effort at work?
Okay, at that time, our creative director signed on 2 clients at the last minute, meaning that our entire team would need to put in overtime to meet these clients' needs. I decided that by working extra hard for this short period, I could help our team meet this important deadline. I saw this almost as a mission to impress the client and show them that our team was capable of everything.
Right. The second question to the same engineer, Mr. FIZRIE. Would you consider yourself to have a strong work ethic?
I would say that I have a strong work ethic. I consider myself a proactive person, meaning that I'm always brainstorming what I can do to be helpful and make life easier for everyone else. If you talk to my previous coworker, they would say I was always willing to volunteer to take on additional tasks. For example, one time, I volunteered to create a presentation for important client meeting. Everyone was so appreciative of this since they found the presentation is challenging. Rather than viewing this as extra works, I saw this as a great learning opportunity.
Okay, last question for me, Mr. FIZRIE. How do you stay motivated?
Okay, while things like positive, I get positive feedback and praise from my managers and supervisors. They are super helpful way to that is the super helpful way to keep me motivated. I have also found some strategies to motivate myself, and I find that by practice healthy habit do sport, I can stay more focused. And for instance, I start each morning with a session of yoga and a cup of green tea. I feel like this little routine help me wake up and feel ready to take my day.
Alright, thank you, Mr. FIZRIE, for answering my question.
Okay, next question, it will be MUHUNTHAA. Would you share your question to our engineer?
Okay, hi and good day everyone. Okay, so Mr. Ismail, I have a question for you. So, are you willing to work overtime?
Okay, for my opinion, for work overtime, I can normally work in a few nights or weekends of overtime through the month if required to meet some deadlines. I hope project scope and schedule in a such way for that overtime and night not common the requirement.
All right, thank you. And then I have another question for you. So, when have you worked the hardest? What motivated you to do the work so?
my motivate is I'm a really driven by result. I like to I like it when I have a goal to meet and enough time to figure out a strong strategy for accomplish it. At my last job, our our yearly goal were very aggressive, but I work with my manager and the rest of my team to figure out the month by month strategy for meeting and a year and numbers. It was a really thrill accomplish that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ismail. So, okay, I have another question for Mr. FIZRIE. Okay, Mr. FIZRIE, if your boss asked to lie for them, what will you do?
Okay, if my boss put me into that situation, I will report him. That means you can report him to the human resource if your company have the human resource department, or if not, you can report it to the head or the manager.
Okay, thank you, Mr. FIZRIE.
Okay. Next question will be by Siwei Chi. Do you have a question to ask to our engineer?
Okay. Hi everyone. Mr. Ismail, I have some questions for you. Can you describe a time that you feel overwhelmed with your workload? How do you handle it?
I will handle this. I will accept the challenge and never resign from the post. Rather, I work with the even more hard and put it a lot of effort and skill, which effective time and management. I was able to ace challenges, which is
Okay, Mr. Ismail, I have another question for you. Can you describe a time that you did something because it needed to be done, even though it was not your responsibility?
okay. If it not my responsibility, I will define going to above and beyond as doing what need to be done, and not just what is expected of me. Just as at my last job, I was given a project and expectation for it. But I know that the minimum requirement were not going to get the job done properly. I had to work weekends, but I did it now. I know it has been done.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ismail, for answering my question.
Okay. Lastly, two questions from me. I will ask to Mr. Ismail. Describe a time when you were not satisfied with your job. What could you have done to make it better?
What it can make me to be better. Early in my career, I had the opportunity to hear up as a major group project. I feel I'm prepared in terms of my management skill and deadline. I wish I did been open and challenging myself to ensure I never to feel that way again. I have taken management training course and built my mentoring resolution sheet that given me confidence in my management skill and given me a group of people I can consult about the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ismail. Last question from me to Mr. Fizri. How do you prioritize your tasks, and what time management strategy do you use?
Okay, in my managing my tasks, I listed all the tasks that need to be done, and then I identify which is the most important. The most important I put to the first task need to be done, and then I will prioritize the task according to the importance and urgency of the task.
Okay, Thank you, and I think that's all from us. Thank you for lending your time with us, Mr. FIZRIE and Mr. Ismail. It's a pleasure to meet two great persons and willing to share your experience with us. Till we meet again.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Alright.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.